we're out.
Awesome, John. That was beautiful. Wonderfully done. Thank you so much. Can you give me that screen where I can see every? Oh, I see it. Ah, there's my people. Oh, so what'd you think, guys?
I was on my best behavior.
Yes, yeah. You didn't have to be though. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Wow, he was great. I didn't think that I needed mental health help until after he was finished, and I realized, oh my God, he made me feel so much happier.
Yeah, he's incredible. He is the smartest person I know. He's the smartest person I've ever met. I've been to 44 health systems across the world, and I've met incredible professionals in all kinds of different biomedical fields. And I was lucky enough to go to high school with him. So I've known him since we were best friends at freshman year of high school.
Oh, wow.
And I've watched Anna over the last, I think, 8 years, and progress through her education to become a PhD level. And she's brilliant, and she's so full of heart and warmth. And it's brilliant. Her observations on everything that she does in her professional life, personal life. Happy to come with us and discuss things like this. I thought this one was the best one we've done so far. I really think that this one was awesome, and it had no sign, none of my favorite stuff in it. No charts and graphs. So
I thought it was funny that he zoned in that I asked him a little bit of a database question, but that was all from you, Sanjay. That wasn't me.
I'm a bad influence.
I got blamed for that part.
Yeah. So I see Madeline. Is her audio working this time? No, it's not. John, I'm sending her a headset. Get her address. I think John went to the bathroom. And who else? Lauren. I don't know exactly where all of you guys are from. I know obviously Terry, Jeff, Karen, Pam Bullahan's here, right? Pam, where are you from? You're on mute. How do we unmute everybody?
Everybody's unmuted. Be careful what you say or what noises you make, Terry.
Thank you.
You too, Terry.
Leslie's for Game of Thrones, and Terry's got his family behind him.
It looks like my ex-in-laws, actually.
Can you hear me?
Oh, man. So can you believe it? Week 11. John and I have been doing this for 11 weeks. And it's 2 hours to us here in this group, but I didn't realize how much work it was going to be, like to get read, like all the, like I'm normally reading, like I'm normally catching up on the science, but as part of my job in evidence-based medicine, top health, clinical genomics, to keep abreast of new science. But the pace of this stuff is insane. I mean, the pace is just extraordinary. And one of the things I hope you will come to realize in the next couple of weeks is that 50-60% of the papers that are being submitted right now, I was joking with my friend, they're experiments that were done just to show other scientists not to do that experiment. They're just like, look, we did this, we learned nothing, so please don't do this. So you just like flipping through all this stuff. And then obviously, so let's open it up for politics now that we're among friends.
Oh, what a week I've had.
What a week, huh? That poor guy, JJ, it's hospital. They saw George Floyd.
Yeah.
it's a kind.
There's so many people who got their again, feedback, but
Where do you start on a week like this?
Terry, I have no idea. I mean, before this week started, I was a lefty, yeah, and I was a progressive kind of an activist, and now I'm getting a BLM tattoo on my neck, and I'm gonna, join Antifa. So I've ordered my black hoodie and all that. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm making light of it, but for God's sake, what is it going to take to wake up, the conscience of this country? And then all of these people sending me, I went to school with a number of African American students. That was very rare in my community to have people of color when growing up in northeastern Pennsylvania. And now they're married and they have children, and they're emailing me and saying, this is the first time I've been afraid to let my son, go to the grocery store alone or go do whatever. And and then mom's emailing, how do you talk to your sons about what's going on? And my daughter's from my first marriage is Indian appearance, just like me, dark skin. My boys are, Karen and I have our two boys together, and they easily pass for just kind of a darker complexion white children, and I couldn't believe how many people contacted me this week. Couldn't believe it. Turned in, I was, the COVID guy for everybody for the last couple of weeks, and now I'm buying black hoodies and getting combat boots and stuff. I don't know.
I understand. I totally understand.
I'm kind of in the other situation. I'm in Gulf Coast, Florida, in a small community that most of the snowbirds have gone home. But, the people with the Confederate flags, and I've unfriended 5 contacts today alone.
Yeah.
People who came out, all lives matter, property over people.
Unbelievable.
And some of them are relatives. And I'm just, at first I was explaining why. Now I'm just, unclick, bye, you're banned.
Good luck.
Well, it's like what you just said about doing experiments just to say what not to do. Talk about a Confederate flag. Yeah. I'm in New York City, and it's crazy. The helicopters, I know when they're out because the helicopters are there. I have a disability, or I would be out there marching too, but I have to stay in this time. I've 2 years out. I had a hip disarticulation. I got hit by a big truck when I was on my bicycle downtown. But I used to go to whatever I could go to, and now I have to stay at home and just do social media about it. But this was great. I was thinking, oh yeah, I've been doing well so far. I don't need any mental health. And I started listening, and I tuned in late, and it was about, the side effects of mental health. And I was thinking, oh yeah, I don't really need that. But by the end, that was great.
Yeah, I've been asked to do this for quite some time. From our friends on the right, one of their talking points now is that we're going to lose more people, or as many people, from addiction and domestic violence and all of this stuff. And you should look into it. Let's see if there's statistics to back that up. And the more I looked into it, it is a dagger they use, but there's also a huge amount of truth. People are suffering.
When it comes to addiction, there's a little bump, but
it's a constant at about 80,000 a year. Lost to overdose, suicide, drunk driving. If you wanted to lump it together.
1 second. I forgot to show you guys this. This was supposed to be in the intro before JJ joined us, but I want to show you this. Okay. Hold on. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Watch this. This is at the beginning of the year. Okay, I'm gonna take this forward. Look at the deaths. All right. On the 1st of January, we already had 2,300 recorded deaths due to malaria, malnutrition. Obviously, those are spillovers from last year. But here we go. Malaria, malnutrition, homicide, Parkinson's, drowning, meningitis, influenza, alcohol, drugs, hepatitis, fire poisonings, terrorism, natural disaster, COVID at 0. This is, I think, United States, right? Yeah, United States. Here we go. Still pretty insignificant. February starts to ramp up. Mid-February, we have a significant amount of cases. End of February, beginning of March.
Okay.
And now we hit the doubling rate of 2 to 3 days. Okay, doubling rate of 2 to 3 days. And you'll see COVID. And this brings us to, I think, the end of,
Okay.
yeah,
End of April. Or, sorry, May.
May. There we go.
Okay.
So, I wanted to show that because there's a certain, certain group of people that are saying, and they've been saying this since the beginning, it's not as dangerous as flu, it won't kill as many people and all this other stuff. And also when you do the comparison to the other major causes of death, and of course that at the bottom of the chart is the disclaimer that says these are only the categories that form up less than 7% of all of the causes of death. So there's no heart disease on there. There's none of the major killers. And of course I have to vet the data, but it is it came from data scientists that used Johns Hopkins CSSE. So I don't want to argue over whether it's dangerous or not. What I want to do now is that we don't. There's not even an argument over whether we failed. We failed. So we didn't just fail in big cities. We had this gentleman, John Davies, join us from British Columbia, thankfully brought to us by Giselle to talk about how it has affected a small community, outside of the high risk category, and what kind of devastation. So we have failed. We have enough evidence to say that. So let's not, what's the R naught? Is it 2.3 or is it 2.7? I don't know. You go discuss that. Adults have other work to do now. Yeah. So now you see the real Sanjay coming out. The guy that's in the town halls, I have to be professional and reserved and all that stuff. But I'm upset. I'm upset this week by everything that I've seen, the lack of compassion, the lack of empathy, the rage, we've lost ourselves, we've lost our conscience, we've lost our soul, we've lost our ability and desire to love and take care of each other. So that's my spiel.
Oh yeah.
What happened?
What's that?
Have we really? You said we've failed.
Yeah.
Let's look at who's really to blame here. It's not the medical science.
No.
I mean, you were presented with a novel virus and you learned, and you've made changes, and it's a normal evolution of a new disease. The failure has been leadership from our government. It could have been so much better. So
Yeah.
let's point the blame to where it really is. And it's not on medical science.
Yeah. I wish we had one of our, Sandra Norton is usually joining us. She's joined us a couple of, 3-4 times now in a row. And she's from this area in northeastern Pennsylvania. She's from a family that I've been very close to. And her dad was my mom's patient at the Veterans Administration. And she's a conservative voice, okay? And, you know, I don't disparage conservative voices. In fact, I'd love them to be here. I'd love them to contribute. I'd love them to share their thoughts and then hear ours. Because right now we're just yelling at each other. I'm guilty of it. I lose my temper, you know, and listen, you're a dangerous freaking idiot. I'm done with you. And then I move on, right? But then there's the other stuff that you've got to look at each other's humanity. And she's been saying, look, all of my friends in small business, they don't know a single person that's been affected by COVID. They don't have anybody in their family that's gotten sick. There's nobody, blah, 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 you know.
Well,
yeah.
Good for them.
But
It's not going to be like that forever.
Exactly. But that doesn't prevent her from wearing a mask. That doesn't prevent her from listening in on us and coming in and learning. And I'm proud of her for that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm proud of her for that. And I want her to be continuing to be part of our conversation. Am I going to call her, you know, names for having voted for Trump? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna love her just the same. So I don't know. Okay, I'm done talking. You guys, your turn.
I think, well, one thing, oh, John, yeah, did you want to say something?
Yeah. John, you're on mute. Go ahead.
No, I'm just here. I would say that if you're connecting in, which since we unmuted people, if you're on a phone, if you're on like something you're holding, every time you move, it cuts out the audio of whoever's speaking. So I'm re-muting people. So if you are trying to talk and you're muted, unmute yourself, talk, and then re-mute yourself.
Got it.
Also, JJ said in social work that he put in community organizers, and Karen and I shared a little smile, I think, because she's a community organizer, and I was a community organizer for a very long time with the unions and with all sorts of stuff. So, yay. Okay, I'm done.
My first job out of college was as a community organizer too.
No war is won without boots on the ground.
You know, so completely off topic of COVID.
Yeah.
So they had the Black Lives Matter protest in Wilkes-Barre, right?
Yes.
And I had to work, so I couldn't go. So friends of mine went, and they said, "Oh, it's real exciting because they're trying to get people now. Let's not we can debate the effectiveness of their strategy. They're getting people to contact their leaders and contact their government officials." And I said, "That's great. What government officials are they contacting? What are they asking them to do? What's the desired outcome?" And it's like, I don't know. I'm like, great. So let's all write letters to, I don't know, the assistant treasurer of the borough of Kingston, Pennsylvania. And that'll be real effective. And that's writing to your elected officials or writing to your community leaders. And I'm like, that is where unorganized organization is just like,
yes.
Karen's nodding. Like those of us who have done this for decades are saying to people, great, what is the message? And the other side of it is, great, Sanjay knows, and I'm not bragging, I can call the governor, I can call the Secretary of Health, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
That's right.
So if you're gonna protest, have you attempted to communicate with these people? So they're like all up in arms because the mayor of Wilkes-Barre is a gray-haired white guy. Right, well, he's the most progressive gray-haired white guy the city of Wilkes-Barre has ever had as a mayor, and is doing a bunch of good things, but you're not bothering to try to talk to people because that's gone. That's obsolete.
Then you're just flailing. Then you're just flailing.
No, that was me. I was flailing.
You. Yeah,
Try
because,
not to knock over my beverage.
look, I posted something. I don't know what I'm doing. I have to ask John, but I just did it anyway because I was upset. I posted over the last couple of weeks that, yeah, you can do this protest and all this other stuff. That's fine to express yourself. But if it doesn't translate into action at a community level, then it's useless. It's totally useless. And you're wasting your time and energy, and you're putting yourself at risk for health and other reasons. And then I went and I like I do, to all of these sites where they had toolkits on how to talk to your police department if you're having problems with them, whether it's from the ACLU or whether it's from the police executive group, which they have, like they come together and they talk about best practices on community policing, and they have a toolkit for, the shitty police departments, and the ones that care have come together and said, positive deviance, this is what we do. This is how we got better. This is how we got our communities to listen to us and talk to us. And they put together this stuff, and, people who really care from the community came together with people from the police forces that really care. And they said, all right, here's the stuff. You could use it if you need to initiate positive change in your community. And I went and I just read and read and read. And John knows, we sleep like 2-3 hours a night anymore. And and so I bundled it up and I put it on the Google Drive, and I have 2 or 3 posts about, look, if you want this in your community, you're pissed at your police, download it, print it, and here are the steps to go. Here are the steps to go and talk to them. Okay. And if they're resistant, then go find a lawyer that'll do it pro bono, stand beside you when you go talk to them. And if you can't find that, here's the ACLU. And if your community is big enough and shitty enough, they'll send a big gun. Okay. But screaming in the street is not going to do anything for very long. It'll get you media coverage, and you get your 15 minutes of fame. And that's it.
I had a clarification moment with a coworker today, and I said there are 3 words. There's a protest, a riot, and there's looting.
Yeah.
These 3 things are not related, except for the fact that they happen at the same time.
Right.
Right? The people who are looting, the people who are protesting are doing it for some sort of social cause, justice cause. The people who are rioting have given up on the protest and have moved on.
Yeah.
They are not necessarily people, let me back that up. People who have either moved on from protesting or have ignored protesting and gone straight to rioting.
Yeah.
People who are looting have nothing to do with the other 2 and and are just using the situation to create a distraction from the fact that they're greedy bastards that are stealing stuff, and destroying stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's why I was glad. That's why I was glad they went in the day today, because it cut all that out, or at least that part of the time. You could tell that there were sincere people and not just looters.
Yeah. And again, remember, in this era, it could be happening and then no one would know if the media has lost their attention span. So Standing Rock protests, they got their 15 minutes of fame, but there were months of living in mud and trying to stop what was happening. Okay. So John, to me, I love the man. So I've assembled a kind of Avengers here, right, when it comes to COVID, but I've got doctors that I'm trying to get to join, but they're on call and they're in a different time zone. So from Spain and from Malaysia and from India and from Italy and from the UK, and trying to find a friend that actually is working in Western Australia, and just get their perspectives and try to share best practices and information on what's working. My MD PhD when it comes to organization is John Daw.
Right.
Okay, when
That's me.
Activism and getting things done, it's John. Like, what was I doing? I was tooling around trying to get Zoom to work the first 2 times. Now look at us. It's pretty awesome. And even just my mask, the goofy mask video has like 27,000 views. I'm like, well, good, because people are like going to learn at least the basic. Because it's just.
You even have your own theme music too. You have music.
Thanks to John. So, yeah, this is great. Giselle, thank you again. And John Davies, thank you. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Okay.
Yes, I think so. That's it, right, John? Yeah.
So it was actually enormously powerful for you guys to have joined us tonight and given your perspective, because not just because you're a small community, but what you actually shared is very valuable and poignant right now. So
JJ took it to a really nice level, because at my best, when I'm not swinging between sadness and anger, I'm seeing the cultural perspective here. One day we might actually have a Monty Python-esque virus where we're bringing out our dead, but
yeah, right.
and this is kind of like a dress rehearsal, maybe for the real one. So as an exercise in communication, it's fascinating. I find it really hard to give up on anybody, because I'm continuously trying to find a way to bridge the polarizations, even though I annoy people because I'm a skeptic to the core and I'll question everything over and over again. But really, I'm trying to find an agreement, and I think this is the value of this kind of a meeting. And when I read your LinkedIn, Sanjay, I was going, what is this guy doing? And then I see you've actually got a real people side. You're not just a numbers guy. So thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. Just for, oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Giselle. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, just for context, so John and I don't know each other that well, but I used to live in the community that John is living in. And so we're Facebook friends somehow through like community activism type stuff. I think the Grace Islet era a few years ago, John. And
right.
So he and I have had like, words and sort of like on different sides of the issue, right? Around the whole like pandemic Mikovits thing. But I see you questioning in several directions, John, and I'm also trying to stand in that place of openness, and I thought that JJ really nailed it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, JJ gets it.
Not polar at these times, because that happens, just rifts in the fabric everywhere with that. So anyway, thank you so much for having us here.
Well, and it's always nice to have Canadians on the web on the meeting, because you could blame the virus on Canada and Canadians would say that they were sorry for it. And yeah, I mean, Canada has now apologized for Bryan Adams, Justin Bieber, and the coronavirus, so we're good.
Yeah, but we gave you Ben Affleck. Come on, we gave you a few other notable. Jim Carrey.
We've got enough ice to build a real wall.
Yeah, you guys, right? Exactly.
Because I organize around healthcare, whenever someone introduces themselves as Canadian, my mind is immediately single payer.
Butterflies start going around Karen's head.
She is single payer.
Well, thank you guys. And we'll see you again next week. Thank you so
Hey, Sanjay.
much. Yeah, Terry.
Yeah, I dropped the link in the chat
Okay.
for your MD page. If anyone hasn't liked it already, just shoot on over there and click like, and you'll be able to follow along with some of the information that's going on that page.
I did forget to, because we skipped a couple of things to make sure that JJ had enough time. I've asked Karen to help, and actually Terry is going to help us with, he's going to be our admin for the resource page. So that's outstanding, and he has experience. So with promotion and all this other stuff. So I'm going to let you all go. Have a great night. Thank you again. We'll see your beautiful faces again next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.